So I'm just trying to get all this stuff ready. If anybody's out there right now, it looks like there's 9 of you. So give me a few minutes while I'm just setting this all up here. Hopefully, I've got my iPad over on here with the event running right now. So it's got over here. And just so you guys know that are stopping by to watch this, we're not streaming the event. So hopefully you guys have a device alongside the device that you're in now. And hopefully my audio is coming through. I'm trying this wireless mic out to see if that works. But I've got iPad over here. I've got my computer over here. And we are going to watch this thing as it starts. It looks like in about 4 minutes. And we'll see what Canon talks about. Hopefully you got some of this handy, or whatever your beverage of choice is. It's all good. Ah, we got someone talking. Someone from Michigan. That's fantastic. So exciting. I've been waiting for this event for a while, and so many rumors have come out in the last month for sure. So super interesting. Anybody that's online right now? Oh, we got UK. Awesome. You guys, what time is it in the UK right now? I think you guys are like what, 5-6 hours ahead, something like that. I'm just checking here. 1 p.m. So you guys have been awake for a while. I'm just checking too. You guys can hear me okay? My audio is coming through good? Just give me some thumbs up or yeses or something in the chats, of course, if you can. Awesome. Fantastic. That's great. Oh, 246 I got. Yeah, I'm using this little inexpensive little mic. It's super good. I actually used it for a interview session that I did yesterday actually, and I was ridiculously impressed with how good the audio was for something that is so inexpensive. Kind of cool. Don't need to be spending all kinds of crazy money if you don't need to, I guess. So I guess while we're waiting for this event to fire up, whenever it does, what are you guys watching it on? Are you guys dual screening? Do you have 2 devices? Are you rocking it out on a tablet or a phone and a computer? What's going on? Haha, we're sharing coffee. Yeah, we are. Why is this even so early in the morning? That I don't know. I was shocked when it was like 8 a.m. But I almost wonder if this is actually originating from somewhere in Europe. I wasn't sure where it started from because it was Canon Germany, I think it was. That was the first Canon website that actually talked about this event. So I wonder if their time zone was kind of first and foremost, and then everybody kind of fell into place. And that does give me a little bit of a concern, I guess, in regards to those that are on, especially the west side of Canada, because you know they're 3 hours even earlier than we are. So this is pushing them at like 5 in the morning. Nope. I would have probably missed it if that was the case. 5's a little early. Maybe. 2 monitors. Ryan, rocking 2 monitors. Rocking the stream on my Xbox. Oh, that's the way to do it. I don't know if you guys can see back there. There it is. My Xbox sitting back there. But hanging out with you guys. So. TV and phone. Yeah, that's the way I should be doing it, but it's all right. Are you still thinking about the R6 versus the R5? You know, to be honest with you, the R5 was never on my radar because as much as I love all the features of the R5, and I think it's going to be a ridiculously powerful machine, being the fact that I edit right now, you know, 1080 and 4K right now, and I'm running I would say fairly powerful laptop, which I do the majority of my editing on. I can't even imagine it dealing 8K. All right, let's take a watch.
My name is Tokina, and I am the Executive Vice President and General Manager of the Imaging Technology
Tetsuro, Tony.
at Canon USA. We have something big news to share with you. But first,
Vancouver, he's up. Wow.
thank you for your support. I have been with Canon for 36 years, including almost 19 years at Canon USA.
So is it started for everybody? Because it's running here.
All this time, I still get excited when we are about to unveil new products. I think you are really going to like what you see, and I can assure you that we have
They're teasing even more. Yeah, they are. Of course they are. Why wouldn't they be?
I would also like to talk with you a little about the power of image. In recent weeks, we have experienced a number of events, both worldwide and here at home. From the start of COVID-19 pandemic.
While he's talking, R6 is still kind of on my radar for sure. I just like that 4K with autofocus. That's the big one for me. If they would do dual pixel autofocus with no crop on the R, I'd probably just jump at that. But I really like that in the RP, or sorry, I really like that in the R6. I have an RP which doesn't have it, so.
And can be used to help us realize our corporate.
But yeah, R5, for one, too much money. Canadian? Oh my gosh, it's like, I don't know. It must be like close to $7,000. I don't have that kind of cash. The R6 is going to be expensive enough.
As a leader in the imaging industry, Canon USA has always felt deep responsibility to ensuring that all members of our community feel valued and empowered to achieve their creative visions. Thank you again.
Someone was looking for the link, so I just shared it. Hopefully it's down there in the chat now for you guys.
You have been waiting to hear.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Yeah, Peter Mckinnon. Who you had to figure. Good old Peter.
I mean, it's locked on. It looks good. It's like left, right. It won't. Do you see that? It's. Oh! So we're shooting on the. Hi, by the way. We're shooting on the new Canon. I almost gave it away. The one thing they told me is just intro and then pass it along, dude. Don't just. Okay, I'll rewind. What's up, everybody? Peter Mckinnon here. I am a filmmaker and photographer from Toronto, Canada.
Anybody here not know who Peter Mckinnon is?
Doing my part, and if you could, can you grab that? Yeah, fold it. Don't let it hit the ground.
In UK, we don't have Peter.
My pleasure
Really?
and honor to be able to be here today to welcome you, no matter where you're watching this from, your car, your lunch break, the bathroom, lunch.
So the stream's a little different. Wow, that's interesting.
Because we've been waiting for this day for
I guess it makes sense to have local people.
a long time, and it's
Yeah, we have Peter McKinnon here.
It's spicy. I don't know if you're ready for it. I don't know. So Rita's gonna come in and she's gonna tell you more of the facts. I'm just supposed to pass it off to her. But I've been shooting with Canon my entire professional career, and what is about to unfold is one of, if not the most exciting update since to date. So Rita, before I blow it all, I'm gonna hand it over to Rita Dubé, who's got the longest professional title that I've ever seen. I actually had to write it down on my phone because I was like, what? She's the Senior Director of Customer.
I wonder how much that's going to kind of mess up timing for those of us that are in different parts of the world.
Rita, because it's such a good title. Floor is yours.
Peter's gone. Peter's out. Whoever was there with you.
I don't know how I'm going to.
We now have Rita Dubé.
So here we go. Welcome everyone. First, let me say that I hope you're all doing well and staying healthy. We are really excited to have you here with us today. Now, Canon has been pretty busy. We've been introducing a lot.
Everybody else have Rita?
Like the One DX Mark III camera, the photographer community called Raise that aims to inspire, educate, and also challenge its users, and the new Image Connect photographer management service.
I have a boring guy.
Photographers.
Well, I'm not saying that Rita is super exciting, but
These services are available to
she's
us.
Rita, I guess.
And also, we have our new cloud platform, Image.Canon, that aims to improve your image workflow. And finally, we can't forget the Eos Webcam Utility beta software that now has helped turn your EOS.
Anybody here try the EOS Webcam Utility? I don't know if that's what they're talking about for all of you guys, but I was tempted to use it today, but I was like, I don't want to mess things up, so I'm just using my iPhone.
Well, we have some more news for you today.
More news.
We are finally going to give you the full details that you've been waiting for on the EOS R5 camera. Not only that, we are also going to be giving you a ton of information on new gear. And this includes the EOS R6 camera, the Image Program Pro 300 printer, 4 lenses, 2 extenders, new printer software, as well as paper.
Oh, somebody's got already talking about R5. We're not there yet. You guys are ahead of me.
To share all of this information with you. And we think it's good, like really good. But now it's time for you to see for yourself, and you can make your own judgment and decide. Now today you will hear the ins and outs about each of these products from our own Canon experts, as well as some professional photographers that we've been working with. And they've had the first dibs on.
I'm curious to see if the stream, I wish I could see the stream in the different parts of the world, because I bet it's very, very different, because it's someone talking with basically a PowerPoint presentation running in the back, and I'm sure my PowerPoint that I'm seeing is different than yours that are maybe in Europe somewhere.
Now, let's kick it off with Canon Tech Advisor Drew Mckinnon and the EOS R5.
Now we're into the R5. Here we go.
Thanks, Rita. Hello, and once again, welcome to my home office here in New York. Back in April, we dropped some information about the upcoming EOS R5. It was mostly about the video features of the camera. Well, I'm here today to tell you as much as I can about the EOS R5 and to provide first-hand reports from some of our creators who've had a chance to work with the camera and lenses you'll hear about. With the introduction of these two cameras today, we're giving image makers and videographers some options to choose from to create their work. I know there's many questions as to why two different cameras. Do you need the highest performing Canon mirrorless camera for your work every day? Or are you a content creator, enthusiast, or advanced amateur who needs high quality and functions, but at a lower price point? I know there's been a lot of discussion and debate on the resolution of the EOS R5. So to put that discussion in overdrive, the EOS R5 will have a brand new Canon designed and manufactured 45 megapixels
45 megapixels R5.
This new sensor will offer incredible image detail and expanded dynamic range. Paired with the Digic X image processor that was
Digic 10, I guess, Digic X.
Mark III, this camera will have incredible processing power, capable of shooting at 12 frames per second mechanical and 20 frames per second silent shutter included.
Yeah, I believe the R6 is going to have that same 12 frames per second mechanical and 20 frames.
Studios out in the field for landscapes, wildlife, and nature.
And I think that's going to be a huge upgrade for me. Not that I shoot a lot of photos, but coming from an RP, that thing is like brutal slow. 1053 autofocus zones, wow, on the R5. Yeah, so far, except they never really talked about officially the megapixel, so it's nice to see it is 45.
Body tracking for dogs, cats, and birds. Having faith your subject is in focus has never been easier.
And for all you
With these features and more,
animal lovers,
in the real world,
again, most of the rumors I'm sure are going to be spot on.
photographers to see what they could do. As a special treat to you all watching, you're about to be the first to see an exclusive video captured with the EOS R5, done by vlogger, content creator, and coffee aficionado with over 4.5 million subscribers on his YouTube channel, Peter Mckinnon.
Now we're seeing some content for us created by Peter Mckinnon.
The word artist, you might think of a painter.
For you guys somewhere else, probably somebody else, I guess.
When I hear the word artist, I think of my friends, the local restaurant owner, a little kid sitting under a blanket with a flashlight dreaming of the stars. An artist isn't bound by the restrictions of society. An artist doesn't see the world in straight lines. An artist finds comfort in the unknown. A place where we can express our most inner feelings through our works without bounds. A limitless expression of freedom.
So I do wonder how long some of these guys have had the R5 and possibly R6 to play with, because they have to have had it for a while. Like this little demo footage that we're seeing from Peter Mckinnon, he didn't just shoot that in a day. Like that's taken him a while to shoot for sure.
We're only left with what we love. Our passion to create.
I wonder if he'll release anything like this and actually do an 8K upload.
It would take much longer than I have in this segment to cover all the additions and features of the EOS R5, so let's speak to a couple of our photographers who have had the chance to work with the Canon EOS R5. Fashion photographer and Canon Explorer of Light, Lindsay Adler, and portrait and wedding guru and Canon Explorer of Light, Sal Sincata. Welcome to you both. I'm so glad to have you here virtually. So welcome, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Lindsay, you did some behind the scenes of your session. Let's take a quick look at that short clip.
All right. I'm curious with the R5 what its low light is like, because the sensor size really isn't getting any bigger. It's a full frame sensor, but usually as we cram more and more megapixels into a sensor, low light abilities tend to drop a little bit. One of the big reasons the 6D, the original 6D, was such a low light beast was just the fact that it was like a 20 megapixel camera, and that the megapixels were fairly low count, but it just was a killer in low light because of that. Yeah, the autofocus looks very good. I'm really excited to see in real life what the IBIS is like, because these shots all look like super steady, but really we don't know if they're, you know, shot on a gimbal or if what they're shot with. We know they're shot with the R5, of course.
You had a chance to work with the R5 recently, and tell me, what were your first impressions as you unboxed the camera, started working with it in your studio?
Well, so to be honest, I felt like a little camera photo nerd. It was so exciting because
Camera photo nerd.
I started to play with it.
Yep.
I realized it was the best of every world, like all the things I was excited about. Fundamentally, I was like, wait, this feels and functions like a
I like Brandon up here. He's like, Peter who? Takes me a while to go read the chat stuff. So focused, so focused.
It was just like, thank you guys, this is what we wanted. The other thing that was fantastic was that when I put it to my eye for the
Yeah, 20 frames per second, autofocus, locked on. Yeah, that should be smoking. Again, not that I do a ton of photography, but I think it's going to be super useful, especially for anything with movement.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. We've really upped a lot of the features and functions that the customers requested. They said,
I think, like, they pointed out especially the R5, they were pointing out the animal autofocus, and I think for a lot of like wildlife photographers, that's going to be huge, because especially with a really big zoom, you know, we see in that, what is it, 100 to 500 or 100 to 600 or something like that, you know, that really big zoom that can lock on to, you know, whatever it is, a bear, a coyote, a bird, whatever, being able to lock on and do eye detection at that distance. If it's got super good stabilization, you know, maybe you don't need a super fast lens, because a lot of those lenses are coming in, you know, f7, f11, some of those. And what the kicker was is if you put that 2 times on it, you know, f22, I don't even know, do you double the exposure if you put a multiplier on it? What do you guys, do you know? I don't know. I don't shoot enough photo, and I've never shot with a multiplier, but I'm curious.
And then in the post-production workflow, look, we're all touching our images. We're not shooting film. These images are going to go into some sort of post-production workflow. And
Oh, you guys are doing the R6 already in the UK. We're still on the R5 here.
I want to put that 30 by 40 or larger on the wall. I need that resolution to sell large print, so I would rather have it than not.
Right, and there's always that pixels per head, pixels per face, so you have a big group, a bridal portrait.
Yeah, for those that are shooting, like he was saying, weddings and stuff like that, that ability to just crop right in, shoot way wider, and you may even be able to get 2 photos out of a single photo. Really, with that amount of megapixels, being able to shoot a nice wide shot to get that nice landscape, and then be able to crop right in and still get a nice resolution shot as long as your focus is hit on really well. I can see people that will be using 45 megapixels to take 1 photo and get 2 pictures out of it.
Looking at the camera, and if you're the person who's doing it, please come
Yeah, spoilers. He's firing all this stuff because he's ahead of us.
there. And so there is
You know,
that
at least he's not like 5 hours ahead of us. I wouldn't have had to watch any of this.
events like this, and I again need those pixels so that these images don't fall apart on us.
Very cool. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of resolution for some to handle, but at the same time, it's going to be one of those resolutions that people.
I do wonder how big, like, the physical raw file size will be out of a 45 megapixel. You know, I know that the Canon, what is it, 5DR or whatever it is, I can't even remember. I think that one shoots like 50 megapixels. Anybody here ever shoot with one of those or use or get a file? Anybody know what the raw file size is from that one? They gotta be fairly large, I would think.
The larger file size is writing slower, and I did not experience on our shoot. And when people see that video, they're going to see like we're moving, we've got action, we're throwing a veil. We did not run into performance problems with the camera, so I think kudos to Canon. Did an incredible job of making sure that the buffer, the memory, the read-write is happening at a speed that's keeping pace with a working pro. With the R5 now, I'm not seeing that lag. So the speed of the EVF was made me very, very happy.
Lindsay, how about you? What are your top 3 of the EOS R5?
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see with a camera like that, 45 megapixels, if you have, they're talking about buffer here, you know, how many or how long you can hold that trigger down, especially when you're shooting, you know, 20 frames. How fast or how long can you fire for? Can you fire for, you know, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, a minute before the buffer? Now I'm guessing a lot of that will have to do with the memory card, but if you were running the fastest memory card you could, I'm wondering how long it would take before the camera was just like, cool it, hold on, you know. But I'm really curious because the eye detection is actually, even on the R and the RP, is surprisingly good in 1080. So my hope would be that it's even better on the new ones.
Shooting unusual compositions, or I have my subject moving around. I want that flexibility, and I love that no longer is focus and recompose.
The Sony 61 is 120 megabytes. Wow. 60 megs compressed. Wow, those are big. Thanks for that info. That's awesome. 61 megapixel uncompressed, 120 megs compressed, 60. Wow.
They won't. You're totally right. They won't have to suffer through that. And then I think the third thing, I guess it's kind of a spec, but just the fact that the camera accomplishes so many things in one. So the fact that it has,
yeah, I'm wondering if they're going to talk about it, because with a press event like this, I was talking about low light before. With a press event like this, of course, Canon's not going to focus on any weakness, of course, of a camera. That would just be a no-go. So I'm curious to see if they talk about low light performance of the R5. My guess is they're going to talk about low light performance of the R6, because my hope and my expectation, I could be completely wrong, is that the R6 is going to be way better in low light because, again, less pixels on that sensor, which means that they should be able to gather light a bit better than a 45 megapixel sensor.
Okay, everyone's going to be happy. And I went to the back and I'm like, oh, yep, joystick, got it back. Everyone's going to be happy. So that was one of the first things I did, pick up the camera, and I was like, Canon listens, they care. So that was a good one.
It's the little things.
Yeah, it's the little things that are big things.
So, Lindsay, any closing comments or thoughts or things that you think we didn't get to that you want to really make sure that Lindsay's voice is heard?
Yeah, well, no, I was going to mention that one of the things I didn't bring up was the in-body stabilization. You know, there's a
Deed 1939, I see you. Hey, welcome. You're watching online gaming as well. Hey, that's all right. You're busy. Do your stuff.
Strobes at the time, and I was like, you know, it doesn't seem right. I should probably use these as hot lights like it would be in old Hollywood. So I switched off my strobes, and I was shooting narrow depth of field, but even then my modeling lights weren't that strong. And so it ended up being, I was shooting, I think I was at a 1/6 of a second And I was like, oh man, okay, maybe it's, should I pop
Sixth of
up
a second.
in my ISO? Maybe I should go higher. And then I was tethered, and I'm looking, I'm like, nope, they're sharp. I don't need to. So it was really nice to see that in action in a practical situation, because usually people think just bump up the ISO, but it wasn't necessary.
So she's shooting at 1/6 of a second and getting non-blurry backgrounds without having to pump up non-blurry. Blurry backgrounds, but not blurry image, I guess. So yeah, 1/6 of a second. That's crazy. That must be both the IS and the lens and the IBIS kicking in together, I would think. Now, I don't necessarily think all of us can probably shoot that slow, nor would I always recommend it, but that's awesome if it can.
You're a portrait photographer and you're on the fence at all about this camera or if it's right for you. I'm telling you, we have bet our entire business on this platform. So as an portrait photographer, we are using this in our business, and I could not be happier. The tech is what moved me to mirrorless.
Awesome. Well, I know you guys have a lot going on right now, and so I'll let you get back to your extremely busy days, and I can't wait to see more of what you guys do with your content and your videos that we're going to be pushing out over the next couple of weeks. Thank you both for being here. I appreciate it. We'll be seeing a lot of photos and videos, behind-the-scenes footage from our EOLs at work with the new EOS R5, so make sure you go to our website after this broadcast to see those amazing pieces.
Now I'm still curious to see, oh, hold on, specs.
Features such as IBIS with up to 8 stops of correction, animal eye and body
IBIS,
focus,
8 stops.
turn of the joystick,
Wow.
and other requested changes, so keep an eye open for those articles and videos. Now, the EOS R5 is not just an incredible stills camera. We wanted to make sure today's photographers, videographers are able to integrate this small full-frame camera.
I do hope, and it'd be nice to, hopefully they show it, I don't know if they will. I do hope that their transfer transmission speeds when you're tethered to your camera, like through your phone. I was doing it yesterday and I was just moving videos from my camera to my phone so I could look at them and listen to them. It's slow on the old R and RP. I hope they speed that up. Oh, some video. Is it video stuff coming up now?
Honestly, I was blown away when I heard
Yep.
the specs. Right out of the gate, the R5 has 8K full-frame RAW recording, and it can shoot 4K up to 120 frames per second, full frame.
Now, if I'm sure if I had the money, that R5, I would love to have it, but that's too much for where I'm at right now.
It's a shoot where a lot of cameras could fail. The R5 is giving us a new level of ability to work with light, to work with emotion in a handheld-sized body. I think it'd be easiest since we've got our fill here. The R5 is the first Canon camera to have in-body stabilization. This to me is a game changer. Makes my skills as a cinematographer look better. On this shoot, I found myself stripping down a lot of the accessories, just being able to hand hold it.
IBIS is actually, for me, one of the primary reasons that I'm looking at these cameras. Just that being able to hand hold without having to hook into a gimbal for just a little shots, I think is pretty good.
As I recompose the shot, it's tracking.
Yeah, no need for a tripod or a gimbal.
It is up to speed with the best autofocus cameras out there.
I always wondered, because you look at smartphones, you look at like GoPro style cameras and things like that, their level of
The R5 has a 45 megapixel sensor.
stabilization on those is nuts. Like, it's so good. I'm like, why can't we get that in a mirrorless camera? So maybe it's coming. Maybe we're finally gonna get it.
Has fully won me over to a mirrorless system.
I know there's so many more features to discuss. And to
Looks
show
good,
you.
though.
Unfortunately, my time is up. Right now, I'd like to pass it
Yeah, of course I just bought a new gimbal, so why would it not collapse, having the gimbal market go down? I'll probably be like, I don't need this gimbal anymore, but good thing I bought it, I guess. I'll still use it. Oh, R6. We're getting R6 here now, so this is my focus. I love that they said for those on a budget, here's $2,500.
And the world, the
Yeah.
EOS R6. This is a completely reborn 6 Series product with our latest and greatest technologies inside. If you've ever dreamt about owning an EOS R5 or an EOS 1DX Mark III for that matter, this full-frame body sports Canon DNA from both of those outstanding cameras. If you're an EOS R owner, well, this camera also realizes much of the feedback that we've learned firsthand from your fellow EOS R owners to bring high-performance imaging capability, advanced feature set, and outstanding control to the advanced creator. This creates a powerful lineup of EOS R series cameras to match our already impressive RF and EF series optics. With the EOS R6, you'll find a 20 million pixel full-frame image sensor, as well as a Digix processor.
Same processor, yeah.
Same image processor and base image sensor combination that is featured in our flagship EOS 1DX Mark III camera. So this means outstanding high-performance imaging for nearly all genres of photography. But here's the kicker. The EOS R6 features Canon's new in-body image stabilizer. This is the same one that can be found in the EOS R5, and this is for use with both non-stabilized and optically image-stabilized lenses.
Which is fantastic. This whole use for lenses that don't have IS, because I have a ton of older lenses that don't have IS at all. So being able to get some stabilization on those is going to be fantastic. I have some older EF lenses that I just love. Not great necessarily for filming because you have to be ridiculously steady, but now you can get, what does it say, up to 5 stops? Oh yeah.
The EOS R6 features the same autofocus system as the EOS R5. The most powerful dual-pixel CMOS autofocus system to date. Dual-pixel CMOS autofocus 2. This new system with 100% coverage brings consistent and
new dual pixel. Excellent. Because the old one was fantastic, so I don't even know how they make it better. Good for them, I guess.
And head detection autofocus adopted from the EOS 1DX Mark III. If you photograph people at all, you should know that dual pixel CMOS autofocus just got that much better. We've even added Canon's newest autofocus method, animal detection autofocus, with the ability to focus on a body.
See, for me, all the features that are here are the features I want. 8K, cool. I don't have the workflow to handle that right now.
If you've been looking for a UHD 4K capable camera,
yep.
the EOS R6 has it, with up to 60 frames per second recording. It also has full HD recording at up to
excellent.
20 frames per second.
Perfect, exactly what I wanted. 4K 60, HD 120, dual pixel in everything. Yeah.
Beyond the in-body image stabilizer, it also
IBIS, yeah. 10-bit internal, okay.
High-performance video machine. Those of you that requested advanced features for the next EOS R, we listened. Features such as dual UHS-2 SD card slots are now available.
Nice, dual card slots.
There's now more control than ever with a multi-controller joystick and dual quick control valves. When adding these dual quick control,
really the only big difference body-wise, I think, is that screen on the top of the R5, which it doesn't have on the R6. But I come from an RP, so I don't really see it much of a difference.
To top it all off, there's a beautiful, high-resolution OLED electronic viewfinder with 120 frames per second refresh rate, meaning the EOS R6 is ready for your next project. Now, since we only have a short amount of time available to chat about the EOS R6, the last thing we want to do is read off a spec sheet they can easily find on our website. Instead, to help me explain the feature set of this amazing EOS R6, we have 2 special guests from our Explorer of Light team. My friends, please join me in welcoming the amazing and talented Vanessa Joy and Roberto Valenzuela. So welcome, Vanessa and Roberto. Thank you so much for joining us. So how excited?
Yeah, if they were to release it in like 400 instead of 422, that would just be a click. Nope, not interested.
Been like a juicy secret out there. Everyone on YouTube is trying to figure out what's happening with this R6, and it's been really fun not only having
on the UK, yeah, maybe different on the UK side, 100%.
How revolutionary this camera really is.
All right, everyone.
Looks like for those that just joined, some of us are watching this, of course, in the UK, some of us are watching it here in North America. It looks like the streams are not the same. They have different streams based on where you are. We here, me, of course, I'm watching the North America stream. They're both happening at the same time, but looks like the content is different. Those in the UK look like they're a bit ahead of us in North America. So number one, try not to put too many spoilers, if possible, down below. Right now we are in North America on the R6, but I believe those in the UK are, again, further ahead than us.
Secondly, it would be the price. The price is pretty accessible for a lot of people, and to have this much power for that, power for that buck is just wonderful. And then lastly, I have
You got boring people, but news earlier. Maybe. Well, you know, our folks here are not super exciting, but, you know, we had Peter Mckinnon, I guess. That's good. That's exciting.
5D series, having that aperture wheel back and the multi-controller and everything that just, you know where everything is, and we have this muscle memory that we are very used to. We want to make sure that we continue with that, and this camera finally brought back everything we used to have, and it's been such a joy using it. Like Vanessa said, the Autofocus.
Well, I was always on the fence between the R and the R6, so I think the fence is gone, and the R6 body is definitely coming in, because the fact that, again, they talked about the fact that old lenses will be able to be stabilized. That for me is just a lifesaver. And the fact that I was just going to end up buying body. I wasn't going to have any of the benefits of some of the new RF glass. So my old EF glass will get some of the benefits. All right, little video. Got to pay attention.
Of the Canon EOS R6, you have the perfect combination of everything you love about the 5D series, but they combined it with everything you love about mirrorless technology.
So for all of our viewers out there, Roberto, what's actually hanging behind you?
Well, the camera is 20 megapixels, the R6.
Nope.
The R5 is 45, but the R6 is 20. So I decided to show people, since I'm a big advocate of printing, I wanted to show everybody looking at this press conference that this is a 30 by 46 or something like that inch photograph.
I love the guy doing. He's got a print. He's like, it's 30 by 40 something. I don't even know.
Just to show you the detail on this print, at 20 megapixels, this is like life-size photo. This is a life-size photograph printed on the Pro 4000, and you can see every cloth, every time. You can see the texture of the clothing she's wearing is stacked sharp. Actually, it's probably the biggest one in my studio now, and it was shot with a 20 megapixel camera, so I wouldn't let that get to your head at all.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing with our viewers. Now,
Of course.
when you look at the EOS R6,
Yeah, that's a big thing. I don't know if you guys can see it in my photo here or in my video, right there on the wall. That shot right there, framed that. That photo was taken, and it's a, I don't know what that is. It's a 30 by 40 or something like that inch, and that was literally printed from an action camera that was attached to my helmet, and it was 5 megapixels. 5 megapixels. And I sent it to you. It's printed on canvas, and you know what? It looks fantastic. If you get close, you definitely see the issues with it, right? But whenever you print that big, I always find you're gonna get have viewing distance, right? It's like walking up to a billboard and being like, why does that look so crappy? Well, because you weren't supposed to walk up to it. That's the issue. Viewing distance is a big part of it. So, 5 megapixels. So I see all these people complaining about the 20, and I get it. Having more, for those of us that like the crop, not that I'm a big cropper, I like the crop maybe a little bit. That's going to be a huge perk of the 45 megapixels of the R5. And again, if you are doing architecture and doing wildlife where you just don't want to get close to that subject or can't get close to that subject, that extra megapixels is going to be incredibly important. But for a lot of us, for me, again, that 20 megapixels, I think that's going to be plenty for me. And even if I want to print large, I do know, I realize now with a lot of that printing technology and a lot of the computers out there having that ability to, expand and enlarge some of the files and retain a bit more quality than they used to, it's doable for sure. Yeah, this canvas looks great even at low megapixels. Yeah, 100%. Oh, we're low light now, yeah. See? I knew the R6 was going to be a low light beast.
familiar with the EOS R6. You shot some photos, you shot some...
Yeah, pretty excited. Not that, again, not that I shoot a lot of low light, but I'm not shooting huge lights anywhere. And I'll use an example, the shoot I did yesterday. We shot it in an office, barely any room. Like, it was cramped, tight. And I had 2 little LED lights, and the LED lights, honestly, were no bigger than this box, right? They're just little lights like that. And I had one shot off camera here, and I had another one shot on this side. And low light was important because, you know, I had to crank up the ISO a little bit for the video just because we were running a little bit on daylight, but not as much as I kind of was hoping for. Luckily, you know, I was shooting on an RP, which for a lot of people is really, you shoot on an RP. Yeah, because this was going out on the web, it really was fine. We were really focused mostly on just getting a really nice looking image. We shot with some wireless mics and just a 50mm 1.8. So not an expensive setup. And the client was just ridiculously happy with the footage that came out of it. Plus, for a lot of us that don't know, even on the RP, you know, even though it doesn't have any log features, you can download Technicolor's CineStyle. And you can download a CineStyle plugin basically for the R and the RP, really important for the RP, as well as like the Canon M50 and stuff like that. And it gives it a really log style flat profile. And I shoot in that all the time. Even the YouTube videos that I usually shoot that are done upstairs, when I'm doing like tech reviews and stuff like that, all shot with this CineStyle plugin so that you and I can color grade it better. So I gotta pay attention. I'm talking to you guys.
You know, low shutter speed. Sometimes we work in low light. Sometimes we work in conditions that require us to be super steady. We don't have to worry about that anymore. This camera is really free you up.
Good morning, Ahmed Adan.
Rest assured, trust the technology and take your photographs. So I'm just really pumped up about this IBIS technology they put on the cameras.
So I do shoot some video. I don't shoot a ton of it, but anytime I do shoot, the one thing I hate more than anything about video is having to put my camera on a tripod or a monopod. I hate it.
You guys in the UK are talking about lenses already. We're still on the R6 over here.
My camera in my spot. So, you know, the in-body image stabilization allows me to more freely just handhold the camera or, you know, lean against a wall or put my elbows on something. So now it's definitely much more pleasant shooting video when I don't have to be on stick.
Yeah, and this is a really amazing system, very user-friendly. When you think about it, longer focal lengths really benefit from built-in optical image stabilization. The wider lenses really will benefit from having the in-body image stabilization. So both these new systems of in-body image stabilizer will actually work complementary to each other. There's certain times where you'll have more of a ratio one way or the other way, but having both in your toolbox, if you will, is going to help a lot of photographers and cinematographers, videographers, go and really...
Mr. Hamilton, you're looking at the R5. Well, I'm a little envious of you, my friend. R6 is definitely, I think, going to be coming home with me.
Thank both Roberto and Vanessa for joining us today. And unfortunately, that's all the time we have for the EOS R6 and the input side of Canon. So to keep the new products coming your direction, I'm going to introduce my good friend and technical advisor, Mr. Jim Booth, to talk to you about the output side. So take it away, Jim.
I think we're getting into lenses right now.
Thanks, Brandon. Wow, how about those new cameras?
No, well, Ahmed is asking about MSRP. They did have a leak yesterday. I guess it was a leak for the R5 and the R6. R5 body coming in at $4,000 US, and R6 coming in at $2,500, $2,499 US. I think the prices. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think the prices were in the UK basically same dollar amount, like at $24.99. So in the UK it would be $24.99, but of course in their currency. If that makes sense.
So that he can share his thoughts after he had some hands-on experience with the printer. The new Pro 300 is...
But I don't know, of course, what they're going to be in Canadian dollars yet, because if you just do the US to Canada currency conversion, it comes out as a weird number, so I don't know if they'll go up from it or down from it.
Elements for creative production. This model utilizes a new matte black ink with
It hurts. Yeah, yeah, it does.
Pro 1000 and Pro 10. This new ink helps create smooth tonality throughout your final print. The new image.
Anybody here actually print at home still? I'm talking about these printers here, the Pro 300. Anybody print?
First, the skew correction.
I used to, not anymore. I usually just get it sent out like this one. Sent out somewhere, they can deal with it.
This helps reduce printing errors by ensuring accurate feeding, especially.
A lot more for Canadian. Yeah, thanks.
Another is the nozzle recovery
But yes.
system. Ink nozzles are carefully checked by sensors. If a clog is detected in one nozzle,
No more print, less hassle.
this works to prevent print failures due to banding and reduces the need for head cleanings.
Yep.
We have also improved
Yeah.
media compatibility.
Pretty much every photo in my house is one that I've printed. So, well, not I printed. Every photo in my house is one of my own photos. Example, that one again. And then we have some back here and some over there. But I always send them out. I just get them sent out somewhere to print.
With a 3-inch LCD, USB, Ethernet.
Someone else can deal with it. 100% agree.
Complementing all of the other features I've already shared with you. I'm confident that this printer will deliver the results you have come to expect from Canon. But don't take my word for it. Let's hear what Canon Explorer of Light Joel Grimes has to say about this new Pro 300. Thanks for taking some time with us today, Joel. You and I had the pleasure to work a couple of years ago on the Pro 1000 launch.
I can't afford Canon ink. I can't afford anybody's ink. But on a side note, I don't print a lot. We just print like online stuff, tech stuff that I need. So I don't print very much. On an HP printer, just a little wireless printer, and I don't know. It was like $39 at Best Buy, and it's fine. It prints text, and I wouldn't use it for like photo prints, but it prints what I need to print fine. And they have this weird thing now. If you print like less than 15 pages per month, they'll just send you ink for nothing. So I was like, okay, that's cool. And they've already sent me ink. Like I got a refill when mine came up and was like, your ink's getting low. And they sent another one. As long as I don't print over 15 pages per month, then that's kind of cool. And if you print more, you can get into these little like plans. It's based on how much you print. So if you print like 50 to 100 or something like that, they charge you like $3 a month or something. So I'm like, that's cool. Yeah, they just, off it comes. And for the first 2 months or something like that, or 3 months, I don't remember, that you sign up for it, they, even if you print a bajillion pages, for the first couple months, they just send you the ink just to try the surface out. So I was like, yeah, that's handy. Everybody's doing this monthly plan thing. And I think a lot of companies realize that nobody likes buying ink. And because of that, and I've done this and it's not great. You know, your printer runs out of ink, so you just throw it in the trash and you end up buying a new printer because it costs less than buying ink. So I think this will change that process a lot, at least for me.
Now, not every picture you're going to hang on your wall, but that's my goal. And so if I do get a picture that I love and I make it in print form and I put it in a frame and I hang it on my wall, that's a huge statement.
How do you think photographers can leverage print to increase their bottom line? Obviously, a lot of photographers are sole proprietors and run their own business. Do you think that there's a way that they can include print to make more money?
Yeah, I had a guy come up to me after I gave a lecture and he said, I want to shake your hand. And I said, oh, yeah, okay, sure. He said, you've made me a lot of money. And I said, I have? Do I get a cut on that? And we kind of joking. And he said, look, I've been a photographer. He was about my age, so, you know, young guy. But he said, look, I do senior high school portraits. I've been doing it for years. I have 5 photographers that are on my, work for me.
Yeah, that's what actually, I heard that you're one of the chats here if you guys are looking. The all eye was an R5 feature, whereas it wasn't going to be that on the R6. The 10-bit clean export all eye recording will be through HDMI out. So if you guys are running, and I've been tempted, and I may still be tempted to get one of these, is like a Atomos, like a Ninja 5. That would be something that I'm definitely looking at because I've been wanting another monitor. I actually just got a monitor for my RP, which I used yesterday, which was actually super useful. But this one, the Atomos, it's not that expensive. It is, but it's not super expensive. It's like Canadian wise, like $700. I think it's $499 or something like that US. And this would be super useful if you need that, you know, what is it? The all-eye recording, if you want that 422 10-bit all-eye. For me, doing mostly YouTube stuff, not a big deal. Not a big deal, but for client work though, could be useful. I'm good with the printer info. They can move it along, move it along. I was hoping we get into lenses.
To share more details about the printing workflow.
Thanks, Jim. Now that we've captured amazing images with the EOS R5 and EOS R6,
I'm curious though when we'll be able to order these cameras, because I'm ready to order it today. And I'd love to be able to order it right away, so there's no like, cool, you ordered it, you'll get it 2 months after everybody else, because everybody else bought it. Talking about lens bundles, Robert. Again, I think it was yesterday, there was a rumor that came out, or a leak, that both the R6 and the R5 would be bundled or have a kit version of the f4 105, sorry, 24 to 105 f4 RF, and that would be on both the R6 and R5. The R6 would have an additional bundle, which was the 24 to 105 STM lens, so the f4 through 7.1. But the big issue that we were seeing again with the leaked or rumored kits was that you weren't saving any money at all. You know, the R6 one, for instance, the $24.99, you tacked on $400 and you got the kit. But the $400 is what the 24 to 105 STM lens costs. Actually, it costs $399. So if you bought them separate, you'd save $1. And that's the same with the f4 lens. It's basically the retail price of the lens just kind of tacked onto the side with an additional $1. So yeah, I was actually kind of hoping, and it sounds kind of funny because I have a 24 to 105 f4 EF lens. I was actually hoping, and it sounds, you know, the 24 to 240 lens that Canon makes, their RF one, I tested that at an actual Canon event last year, and I just loved it as an all-purpose like travel lens. It was fantastic. It had ridiculously good image stabilization. You know, I could handhold that to do video, and I was just super impressed with how steady that lens was, even at 240. Now, of course, since it was a, I think it's 6.3 or 7.1, something like that, at its full zoom, it needed a bit more light, but with all this stabilization, it's probably not a big deal. I was actually hoping that the R6 would have a kit including that, because like the RP in that does. So I'm hoping that that lens either just drops in price a little bit, or that down the road, I was going to say down the road that they added in the kit, but that's not going to be helpful because I'll have the camera ready. But hopefully that lens drops, because that's a kit I was hoping that they would do, at least for the R6.
Working with popular paper manufacturers to optimize color profiles so customers can continue to use niche and specialty papers on our
Still going R6 over R5. For me, yeah, without question.
Photographers can create works on media that best fits the photography, making images even more impactful in print. Our latest fine art paper in our collection has a smooth surface, so we wanted to complement that with a rough surface for more.
Yeah, so much printing. Yeah. For something that I'm just like, who prints it? Oh, I guess professionals print. I don't print. I used to print. I don't print anymore.
Premium Fine Art Rough has a lovely rough surface texture, which is perfect for adding a three-dimensional depth or an art painting effect to your images. And as always, with the combination of Canon genuine paper and ink You'll get the Canon level.
Yeah, this will also be a camera for me that will last me for a while.
Now from the final printed
I say
image,
that,
let's go back
and
to
then
the
of course like a
original
year from now I'll be like,
photo.
oh, new
Over
camera.
to Canon technical advisor Rudy Winston to introduce the newest glass.
Oh, here we go, lenses, here we go.
Lineup, and also hear from our Canon EOL, Rick Salmon.
Thanks, Angelica, and hi, everyone. I'm Rudy Winston, a technical
Yeah, I
advisor
agree, Brandon. You know, if you're doing YouTube stuff, the R6 is definitely, I think, the camera for most people.
a showcase of outstanding optical technologies with renowned lenses that are a rock-solid foundation for demanding professional photographers and videographers. But Canon continues to broaden the RF lens line with innovative and exciting lenses that are within reach of many enthusiast photographers as well as professionals. That continues today as we introduce 3 new Canon RF lenses with super telephoto capability. The Canon RF 100 to 500 millimeter f4.5 to 7.1 L IS USM, similar in concept.
I'm actually kind of excited to hear if, you know, Sigma with lenses, you know, Sigma and Tamron and stuff like that, really start looking at the RF lineup for lenses. I know that Sigma has released a couple, but if they can get into some really nice glass, especially like their art series, their art series can get into some nice RF, especially if they release like the 18 to 35 1.8 as an RF, that would sell. I would buy that for sure.
It has up to 5 stops of optical image stabilization, works with the new RF 1.4 times and 2 times tele-extenders, and accepts 77mm filters.
Nothing wrong with getting excited about cameras. No, nothing wrong with that. Now my wife may disagree, but
Canon RF lens series in a practical, hand-holdable package with professional sharpness, strength, and weather resistance. Until now, super telephoto photography has been out of reach for many Canon customers, and even for those who can afford the cost of entry. Issues like size, weight, and
my wife is unaware.
obstacles for many photographers.
Yeah, I know someone that was like, I bought a new camera. I'm like, yeah. They're like, yep. I'm like, and what does the missus think? She goes, she thinks it's the old camera. I'm like, yeah, it's fair.
At unbelievably affordable prices. It's my pleasure to introduce the RF.
I guess almost all wife will disagree. Probably most, unless they're photographers. A lot of women photographers, for sure. Then they'd have all kinds of love for it, I'm hoping. My wife's pretty good. She's pretty supportive of my hobby slash business, I guess. She's like, you think it's gonna help? Get it. When I was like, I want to drop this much money on a new camera, she was like, okay. And I was like, really? That doesn't seem right that you're all like okay about it. What's going on here? What's wrong? Yeah.
Less than the Canon Rf 70 to 200mm f2.8 zoom lens, and about the same as an EF 85mm f1.4L lens. And the 800mm lens weighs 2.8 pounds, less than the EF version of Canon's famous 70 to 200mm f2.8L lens. Both
light lenses.
Optical image stabilization and with autofocus with any EOS R series camera. Remarkably, both accept Canon's new RF tele-extenders, and the EOS R6 and R5 cameras will autofocus with either extender in place. Birds, wildlife, distant landscapes...
So it does say with the tele-adapters, he did say, I don't know if you guys caught that the R5 and R6 will autofocus, but he didn't say that the R or the RP would autofocus with the tele-adapters. You just said the R5 and R6. So I wonder if you put these telephotos on with the adapter, if it requires the R6 and R5. If not, you would have to use like a manual focus.
Rick, really appreciate you spending a few minutes with us today to talk about your experience with these lenses. Which lenses did you work with?
Robert, nice talking with you as well. Have a good one.
The 800mm and here the 100 to 500mm, and all were totally awesome.
Oh, that's terrific. How did that extra 100 millimeters going to 500 millimeter change the way you were able to approach photographing a small subject like birds?
Well, that's the thing. The smaller the subject, the closer you have to get. So that extra 100 millimeters really makes a lot. You know, I was playing around also with the 1.4x converter and the 2x converter. But for my backyard bird photography, the 500 millimeter focal length, it was totally fine.
Terrific, terrific. Rick, speaking of...
I like this. This guy's funny. Terrific, terrific. That's terrific.
600 millimeter and 800 millimeter image stabilized lenses.
Yep.
Talk to us a little bit about your experience working with these lenses. How was the handling, first off? How was the image quality? And in general, what was the experience like?
Well, I think the image quality speaks for itself. You know, I'm making like, on my printer over here, I'm making 17 by 22 inch prints. It's amazing. And when it comes to bird photography, if you can see every feather, I mean, it's amazing the image quality, and then you can handhold these again for a long time.
Rick, you put together a sample video of some of your work.
Yep.
How about if we take a look at that right now?
Sounds great to me. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to start with my list of the top features I like about the camera.
Is the battery better in the R6 and R5? I'm pretty sure, I don't know for 100%. It's definitely going to be better than the RP, because the RP was brutal bad for shots. You know, you're looking at 200 plus shots on the RP. The battery was so small. But I think they were saying, somebody had said in here, you know, like 500 shots per single battery on the R6 and mid 400s for the R5, which actually is pretty good, especially on the R5, the fact that it's got these big files that it has to transfer.
And 800 millimeter are that they are fixed aperture lenses, not just fixed focal length, but fixed aperture at f11. How did you work with that in the situations that you
Really just not want to see official pricing, if there was any extra kits that were possibly out there, and I'm really interested in release date and when pre-orders are going to start. That's the big one for me.
Do a lot of stuff there, Mozart, Beethoven. So they could do a lot of things with 88 keys, but I also have an electric piano with 73 keys, and Beethoven and Mozart and I, we can still make great music. So you have to accept that you have that fixed aperture. And what I do is I boost the ISO in low light conditions. And again, the image sensor on the R6 handles the noise so well, I'm shooting at ISO 10,000 and getting really cool shots.
Rick, that's great.
So this guy's doing bird photography out in the R6.
For helping us tell the customers about these lenses.
ISO 10,000. He must be shooting fast.
And I want to thank you for spending time with us today. Really appreciate it. Look forward to talking to you again soon.
Okay.
Oh, that is super awesome that there's a Canon rep for you guys. Super cool.
To share one more lens with you.
So if anybody has questions here, maybe you can actually forward it over to your chat over there, and they can possibly answer it. Well, this is the one that I've been interested in, this RF 85 f2.
They both share the concept of an affordable fast aperture prime lens with half macro capability. The 85 millimeter medium telephoto focal length has long been a favorite of photographers shooting portraits, weddings, studio, and fashion, allowing the photographer to remain fairly close to their subject for easy communication, yet fulfilling the look achieved by using a telephoto lens. The bright f2 aperture not only lets ample light into the sensor, but also renders those creamy backgrounds desired by photographers when shooting at wider apertures. Now, in addition, specular highlights in the background are rendered beautifully thanks to the 9-blade circular aperture. Tie that in with super spectra coatings to help reduce flare.
Anybody here in North America also doing, or you guys may do it in the UK too, I'm not sure. There's that Canon event. I can't remember, it's like a creator thing, I believe, that's happening tonight at like, I think it's 8 p.m. Eastern time. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but I'm gonna watch that as well. I won't be doing a live or anything like that for that, because I don't even know what it is, but it should be more information, I would think.
Certainly, one feature I know most photographers will appreciate is the lens's macro focusing ability. This lens delivers tack-sharp images, and I mean tack-sharp images, with close focusing down to 1.15 feet, or half life size. That makes it an extremely versatile tool for photographing small details, no matter what your subject is. In closing, I know in today's world, photographers are looking to lighten their load, and weighing in at 1.1 pounds, they'll appreciate.
I actually like the fact that Canon's really focused a lot here on, you know, lightening the lenses. That's a big push they were talking about. You know, all the telephotos, they were like, it's this much lighter than this other lens. It's this much lighter, because when you go to mirrorless, and especially so many of us now, we just don't want big cameras. I don't. You know, I have an old 7D with a battery grip, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, it's so heavy. Oh, there it is, live creator showcase. Yeah.
A group of photographers and Canon professional market specialists in our Arroyo. You can submit your questions online and get them answered.
That's cool. Co-create.
Visit the link in the description below.
So I think, yeah, that one you do have to register for. So I have a registration ticket already that I got for it. I'm not sure how that works, but should be cool, I guess.
Excited as we are to get back in the field and start creating. Thank you.
Is that it? Is it over? Because my question, it's over, but they didn't give like a release date or anything. Anybody else? Did I miss something? Did they talk about any kind of release? Anything that says when these are coming out? They have them at the bottom here. But no. Check your local store. Like local physical store? Or like Canon Canada. Let's do that, shall we? Let's go right now. Canon Canada. Anything on there? I'm curious, because hopefully they would be like, here's a release date, maybe. New arrivals? Nope. Nothing as of yet. What do we have here? Please check your local Canon team on social or your local retail dealer for the pricing and availability in your country. Canon's playing with our minds. Yes, because I'm all ready to buy it. But they're not making it easy. All right, guys. Looks like the event's over. Looks like it's over. So I want to thank you guys for sticking around. Oh, did you find it? Ahmed, do you have a link anywhere? Where'd you see the price? Am I not seeing it? Ahmed, can you put a link down below? Does it have anything for the R6? If you can put a link in the chat, that would be fantastic. Brandon, oh, always a pleasure. It's always great talking with fellow camera enthusiasts. It's always cool, and it's nice to be able to share some of that photography excitement, camera excitement with the rest of you. Actually, Ahmed, can you possibly send links any other way to me? Possibly? I'm pretty sure, Ahmed, you have my info. If you can send it to me, I can post it in the feed. And then we can have it so anybody that's here in Canada can have a link to it. That would be fantastic. Oh, there we go. I'm going to do this. See if we can put this here. $53.99. Pre-order gift pack. Did you see anything, Ahmed? Because you're the one who got this here. Did you see anything for the R6? I'm not even sure where you found this. Was it under consumer? Oh. Thank you. You're a good fella. Good fella. Posting stuff here. Let me see if I can get it here. Just pop those in, so if anybody needs them. So what is the, I didn't even look, R6, $34.99, and that's, I'm guessing that's body. But does the R6 have a pre-order yet, like the R5 does? I guess that's something we'll have to look for. If any of you guys find those links, that would be awesome. We can pop them down there in the chat. I'll just kind of hang out here for another minute, but that's going to be it for me, guys. I'm going to leave you all there. I have to go. My knee's really bothering me today. I gotta go ice it, I think. Luckily, I can do this with a bum knee. Yeah, I think that, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the humidity today. All right, I'm gonna go ice my knees, do all kinds of stuff that old people with sore knees have to do. Yes, in the UK, Canon, you can pre-order. Is that the R6 you can pre-order? Just before I leave, because I'm curious. Because maybe it's coming. Both. Nice. So that means I'm hoping that it'll update. It'll update on the Canon Canada site. All right, guys. I'm going to leave you guys there. Thanks for joining. Thanks for coming in and watching. It was fantastic. You guys are all rock stars. And we'll see you guys in the next video. Hey, if you haven't already, subscribe. I hit 20,000 yesterday. Super awesome. So happy. Great way to end the day yesterday. Later, my friends. I'm out.